I don't have anything to drink, world. But hello. Hello, world. Yeah, I'd kill for some water right now. Oh. Anyway, here we are. I literally had to stop right here because I am almost 1,000% positive I have another stress fracture in my foot from walking too much. I walked about 40 kilometers yesterday, 6-hour hike. Footwear is everything. Anyway, all that to say, I just came from seeing my cutie patootie, old guy. My foot is killing me. It's scream-worthy. I don't know if you've ever had a stress fracture in your foot. It's a broken foot, and then you just walk on it, and it hurts. It's scream-worthy. Okay, so the cold sore, we're almost at the end, but it's looking rough. Don't look, avert your eyes. I'm still bonita, but ugh, Jesus. Okay, so I picked up on a person all day yesterday. And to be honest, I'm gonna say this is a future spouse reading. Yeah, after a good, 36 to 48 hours in this energy, a lot of walking. Okay, so stick yourself where it fits. Again, don't push a message that is not, like, if it's one of those puzzle pieces that looks like it could go in, but like you're having to jam it in, it's not for you. I'm gonna say, the person I'm gonna start describing first is you, collective. Doesn't have to be, but it's what I'm sensing. And then I'll get into the other person. So, okay. There was so much. Let's just start from the beginning. Okay. I'm seeing someone. We got like really specific details. Doesn't always have to be, but just run with it. I'm seeing someone. Oh yeah, that was actually on the way here. Okay. Oh God, there's so many details. Okay, we'll start with the hair. The hair, looking great. You either straighten it or it's naturally straight, but I'm seeing straighter hair. I'm seeing darker hair that is lightened. So you were born with darker hair, but you definitely lighten it to some extent, or you like to color it. But what's so funny is on the way here, I was like, oh my God, where are your ears? I can't see your ears. So I don't know what it is, because I can see you with kind of different stages in your life. You have it a little bit shorter, a little bit longer, but I don't see it tucked behind your ears, and I don't see you wearing your hair up very often, if that makes sense. So I don't know if you feel like these little corn cobs of yours are not worthy of being shown. I don't know. That's just what I heard. So for some of you, you might have a sensitivity around your ears. I can tell you right now, your ears are gorgeous. Don't worry about it. If anyone has an issue with it, tell them to eat shit. Okay, so we have hair. I'm seeing further set eyes. Broader features. I'm seeing apple cheeks. I'm seeing dimples. When you smile, like these big apple cheeks and a dimple. I'm seeing for you, it's not gonna be for everyone, but for some of you, you definitely wear glasses or you need glasses. I see it sometimes you wear contacts, and then there's like a phase in your life where you're wearing your glasses. Oh yeah, I'm not seeing a ton if you're not a dude, and maybe you are a dude, but even if you are a dude and you love makeup, maybe you don't wear a lot of makeup, I don't know, but whoever I'm seeing is, you always look fabulous, you're really elegant, really classy, but you're someone who can get ready in under 35 minutes. Like, you can have your shower, hair done, looking gorgeous. I don't see a ton of makeup. I'm seeing more natural. There might be a little bit of eyeliner, like a little bit, but like it's fairly natural. I'm seeing a youthfulness. Even if you're older, there's a youthfulness, like you have great genetics or you just take great care of yourself, or both. Yeah, like really kind of flawless skin. Great. This is, again, so specific. This is what happens when I spend 48 hours in someone's energy. I see great, yeah, oral hygiene, great teeth. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if you grew up wearing braces. You have perfectly perfect teeth. I'm seeing... It's weird. I don't see you wearing a lot of lipstick, but I do see you do love red nails every now and again. Yeah, there's these accents. There's something formal. Oh yeah, because your hands are like really kind of slender. I can tell by your hands that you do something that is more, what's the word? You just deal with information. So again, whether it's through teaching, educating, there's many fields that you can work in where it's you don't use your hands a lot. And if you do, it's literally for writing and signing a document. But yeah, I'm seeing these like gorgeous hands. I don't think you wear nail polish all the time, but when you do, it's a nice accent. Yeah, you have these like, not understated. Your clothes are like primo. Like for instance, I wouldn't see you wearing a lot of name brands on your clothing. It's, yeah, it's very elegant. But you have these like little accents that you wear. Just, I don't know, just so maybe it's the environment that you work in. Like, you know how some people, like on the show Bones, what's his nuts, the FBI guy, his whole having his accent was on his belt buckle, and I think he wore like crazy socks. So there might be something that you do, these little accents. It's contemporary, it's gorgeous. I'm being shown that physically you're kind of like a cheetah. I'm feeling like you're a little bit leaner and longer. I think naturally. I don't think you have to work very hard. But I think you are inclined to be physical. I don't think your job is physical, but I do think you enjoy physical activities, even if it's just like me, like going for like a 60-mile hike or a jog. Oh, swimming. That's what it is. I think you might have been a lifeguard in your teens, where you really enjoy swimming. You grew up on the lake. Yeah, you definitely are a strong swimmer. Okay, and then Spirit was showing me, so one of my favorite perfume companies, it's a very small company. It was out of Brooklyn. He's now moved to New Jersey. It's CB I Hate Perfume. But what Spirit was showing me, and I do this with any of my scents, I always mix. I will always buy a couple from my favorite companies, and then I find my favorites, and then I mix them. So it's never just the one scent, it's a mix. But what Spirit is showing me is that the two of you are these very complementary individual scents. Like as a perfume on your own, you would be outstanding, and then you come together. But the type of scents that you are is complementary. So we're moving away from the spice analogy, more into scents now. But I love that. And then on that note, I'm sure you both smell fantastic. I see you in the age range of around 33. I'm hearing 37 for most of you, but then there's like a few more that are 38. But that seems to be the age range. Family is really important to you. You really love children. I believe you really want children, but I think you've been really focused on career. I see you as having just been in a very long-term relationship with someone that you thought you were going to have children with, and that did not come to be, and it's a blessing. There's something really wholesome. You're like a December Canadian winter day. Like, there's kind of like, you're like a breath of fresh air, but kind of in the way that winter is. Like, and I see your cheeks kind of rosy. I don't know, there's like a wholesomeness. You feel like, I don't know, like an apple cider with like a cinnamon stick in it. But you're not, I wouldn't say you're innocent. Okay. What else? Sorry, there were so many details. I'm trying to literally, my crazy brain anyways, be very strategic. You have a very pleasant voice. I feel as though you do a lot of speaking in your job. Again, I don't know if it's through education. I'm not sure what that's about, but I do see you speaking a lot. Very articulate, very eloquent, and even in the way that you're a boss, because I feel as though you're not afraid to speak up for something, but there's a way that you go about it that's exemplary. You love knowledge. You love it. You also really enjoy improving yourself, and it's not because you're not obsessed. It's really balanced. Like, you don't believe that you're broken or that you're in a deficit, but you're really of the mindset of like, of evolving. There's always room to evolve, to elevate, to transcend, to supersede. And you're a person that really enjoys being of service. And if there's a better way to do something, or if you haven't hit the nail on the head, so to speak, you enjoy feedback. Yeah, you're a person who's not afraid of critique, not criticism, critique, or an acknowledgement. Like, you just really want to know. You genuinely, like, and especially when it comes to your partner, like, you genuinely want to know what's working, what's not working, because your goal is to, like, to bring the best. I see you as being very transparent and honest, but you're very private. Okay. So your person, I see who's coming. Oh, yeah, one of you, maybe from very different parts of the world. I'm seeing some cultural differences here, and that could be socioeconomic. One of you could have grown up more affluent, while the other has not. But it could also just be from the parts of the world that you come from. Because even thinking about linguistics and language and tone, sometimes there's certain languages that just have harsher consonants and sounds, and there can be a way of communicating that is just very different. Like, you know, like there's like the classic, like Italians, like it always sounds like everyone's screaming and yelling, and it's like World War III, and it's just like normal. That's just like someone asking for someone to pass down the meatballs. No big deal. So there could be something cultural, socioeconomic. There could be literally you just speak different languages. Yeah, I am seeing different languages because I'm seeing the two of you learning each other's words, and it's really fun. It's really cute. But I am seeing, though, in terms of your dynamic, I don't see there being a lot of fighting or discourse, but there might be some which happens a lot sometimes when you're dating people from different cultures, backgrounds, and especially languages. If, like, let's say your first language is English and it's not for them, sometimes things can get lost in translation. Okay, so your partner, I'm seeing more like what you love about them. I'm seeing that they're not like any other person that have you met, but definitely dated. You've never ever been with anyone like this person. You didn't even know it was possible for people to be like this. And you love it. Yeah, it's one of those things that sometimes you don't know what you need until you meet the need, and then you're like, oh, or again, go back to a flavor where you're just like, I would have never thought I would want that or need that or really love that in someone. Like, it's just not on your radar. But you really, 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 really love it about them. There's definitely a mental compatibility here. You love the way that their mind works. And there's so many different types of intelligence, like we have academic intelligence, we have street smarts, emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence. Like, there's a million ways that intelligence exists. And I feel as though this person hits all the markers. And that's part of, we're just like, how can someone be emotionally intelligent, spiritually intelligent, academically intelligent, like all the things? And you're like, they're very well-rounded. That's what it is. There's like a worldliness, a well-roundedness, and you feel as though you can talk about anything with this person. And that's so refreshing, because what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a bit of compare and contrast, like this last relationship, or kind of like the last few, where they hit some of the markers, and there was like some parts of like a cerebral compatibility, but there is so much where you're just like, and maybe you didn't even know what was missing until, again, you meet this person. You're like, oh wow, it's like a whole new world, but like many worlds. I'm also getting real time, like, I'm having this moment where I can see you guys on the couch. Well, that's what it is. You love to secretly watch this person when they don't know that you're looking at them or watching them. So, like, for instance, once you move in together, and even before, like when it's still dating, when you're kind of just like, oh God, bear with this horn. This is the kind of shit that makes me crazy. Okay, thank you. Oh yeah, even the fussiness. Okay, but going back to the couch. Yeah, you love to observe this person, but you love doing things together, even if it's like, I'm seeing you both on the couch, one on that end, and then your feet are kind of meeting up, and so you have your feet on them. I can see your sock just perfectly, and you're both reading, so you both love to read, you both love books, and like, just the person kind of just like holding your foot, maybe giving it a little massage. Like, there's this like really beautiful, like, these little hints of being demonstrative. The two of you also have piercing eyes. Piercing. And I think it's something that you both like to do. Some people can't handle eye contact, but, like, for instance, when the other person notices that you're looking at them with adoration, I feel as though you communicate a lot through your eyes. Like, sometimes you don't need to say a lot. It's like little gestures. Yeah. there's a very similar expression of love. Your love languages really align, but I see the both of you, where you're both very similar, is that there is a thoughtfulness and a mindfulness and being really conscientious of what the other likes. Like you're both interested in one another, and you both like lock in and you pay attention, and not again in a creepy way. It's really just like you're both genuinely thoughtful people. You take note. Yeah, your love languages are definitely like quality time. You really love spending quality time together. Being physically demonstrative. Again, it can just be little things like, little foot grab, a little hand here, like holding hands. I don't know. There's just like, or like when you get up to get tea, a little hand on the back, I don't know. It's just these like beautiful little things. Yeah, it's thoughtfulness, on the way home from work, you just pick up the thing that you just know that they're craving. Like, I don't know, little love notes. Oh, that's the other thing. Your person loves handwritten anything. Can we actually talk about that? I was just talking to my old guy about that. I'm like, oh man, to be honest, I'm sorry for the newer generations, because the art of letter writing, it's a courting ritual. I hope comes back. I hope that there's still people who love a good love letter. I don't know. And it doesn't just have to be in the beginning. Like, even like a well-written email, especially if you both travel a lot. Like, if one of you travels a lot for work, like, yeah, FaceTime's great. I personally love, but like, I can see why the person, they want to see how you write. Like, your handwriting. Yeah, I think both of you are very sentimental in these very little ways. So like, if one of you is writing like little love notes, they save it forever. There's definitely a physical and sexual compatibility, in the sense that, like, you can have great physical chemistry, but then there's like things that we all forget about, like the time of day when you have your peak libido. Some people are morning people. That's when they want to bone all day long. Some people are like, I can barely crack open my eyes before 11, and even then, like, yeah, I dated someone. Oh man, she was rough in the morning. She was not pleasant to be around. She acknowledged it, and she would warn people. I'm chipper all the time, for the most part, But even when I'm tired, I'm still chipper. Like, you can wake me up anytime. I'm ready to go. So there's something about the way that you connect physically and sexually that's like the rhythms align. So it's not just about the physical part. It's like things like timing. I'm also seeing that for both of you, you're both very comfortable with yourselves and your bodies. You know what you like and what you don't like, and you can communicate it as such. So there's this like healthy curiosity where I feel like the two of you will definitely explore things sexually. But there's this really beautiful presence, like, you get off on each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people love fantasizing about other people when they're having sex with their partner. No shade, if that's your jam. I'm just seeing two people, though, where it's just like, I don't want to think about anybody else. Like, yeah. Again, going back to the tactile, the feeling. I think foreplay is probably gonna be a big thing. Like, I feel like both of you really like to just savor. You might be into edging. I feel like there's like 8 million more things. I know there are. Going back to, like, again, conflict, I don't see you two. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I'm seeing really two emotionally very mature, grounded people. Again, different in temperament for sure. Very complementary though. But I'm seeing that the two of you naturally, and because you really truly respect, adore, and just, I don't know, there's just a reverence. You really approach the relationship and this person with like, and we're not all perfect, like we all get grumpy, but that's the thing. What I'm seeing is, like, for example, you know, when you've had a tough day at work and maybe your partner's picked you up. Yeah, I see the person who's kind of had the stressful day get into the car and again, reach out. So there's a point of connection, you know, because they can see that their partner is like so excited to see them. Like they're having a great day. They're not in a bad mood, and they're so excited to, you know, see the other person. And the other person gets ahead of it, where they acknowledge that, you know. So basically, I'm just seeing like a point of connection where like they touch their partner and they say like, "Babe, I'm so happy to see you. I just need you to know, it's not even you. I've just had a bit of a stinky day. I just need like 10 minutes to recalibrate. But like, give me a smooch. I just need to be quiet." Or like, you know, like there's somehow a getting ahead of just like acknowledging and being like, "I love you." Yeah, and there's something about a point of contact, you know, when you get in the car, instead of being all fussy, it's just like, you take a breath, you touch your partner and you say like, "Babe, give me a smooch. I love you. I'm having a really shit day. I don't want it to affect you. I just need a few moments to, yeah, recalibrate." So there's this really great communication. I see it using a lot of humor, because again, going back to the observance of one another, the thoughtfulness, you really know, both of you both bring this. You both have the ability to know exactly what's needed in the moment. You both don't take it personally if the other person's also just having a grumpy day, because, you know, people's grumpiness is like not yours. Like if someone's just having a grumpy moment, it has nothing to do with you. Like, I don't take that on. Sometimes we do, because, I don't know, energy is energy. But that's definitely what you love about this person. They have an ability to know exactly how to handle you, like what's required in a moment. They have a perfect blend of like humor, like when to use humor and not to make fun of, but to like to get you to have a chuckle. And if you're not chuckling, like they know exactly what that spice is. And even when you do get a bit snippy, I see both of you equally being like coming back to the person again, a point of contact, grabbing their hands and being like, "My darling, can I have a moment?" And then the other person being a little bit stinky about it, but being like, "My darling, I love you so much. I was out of line. I'm really sorry. That's not how I want to come off." Or like, do you know what I mean? There's like accountability, mending, humor, affection, a pulling closer, and just communicating. You both really champion for each other. It doesn't matter what the two of you, and I do feel like, again, you're complementary, but there is a lot of differences on paper, you know? That doesn't really mean anything, but there is differences. But differences doesn't mean uncompatible, it just means different. There's just a really great, it is equilibrium. And even in the ways that you are different, and you may have grown up differently, or you have very different careers and interests to some degree, the both of you, again, going back to the mental compatibility, you are both so curious and interested as people. You both love knowledge. You both love learning. I don't know. It just, hold on. The brightness? What is going on? Okay, there we go. And even in this courtship, I just see, again, it's a lot of connecting through talking, sharing, sharing who you are, just talking. I see you doing things like, I don't know, not that you guys don't go out, but I could definitely see the two of you spending more time initially one-on-one, maybe even at one of the person's homes, like, depending. Yeah, I've just never seen two people more genuinely interested and curious, but in a way not of curious of like, what's that about? It's more just like, man, I am so into you. I need to know everything, and there's not enough time to learn everything about you. Everything is matched. It's always matched. I do feel like you, collective, you're a debater. You're not one to argue, and it's not so much playing devil's advocate, because I think a lot of people who play devil's advocates are just basically pricks who hide behind the guise of just playing devil's advocate. It's like, no, you're actually just wanting to be a dick, and yeah, it's part of this your need to understand. It's slightly philosophical. Again, I really feel like the world, we've really lost the art of communication in a lot of ways. But that also goes back to debating. Now we just call it fighting with one another, but now there's not even fighting. It's just like either you're cut off completely, or someone has an idea that you just don't like, and you've taken no time to understand or research or look into the issue at hand. You just, I would say that most people don't know how to actively listen, and listening is a huge part of communication. A lot of times when people are listening, they're waiting to just be able to say what they want to say, and most people aren't present. So even when someone's sharing information, it's like they forget it within 5 minutes. And so that's what I love about both of your energies, is that I see you as being both very busy people, but you always have time. Everything's balanced. It doesn't matter how many plates you're juggling, there's an attentiveness and focus, and there's always time. And that goes back to like championing for each other. And when one of you's up and the other's like, when one of you is down, the other is up, and you support each other in this way. And I don't see any tallying, because going back to the communication, you both address things. Even if it is like one of you gets your feelings hurt, there's this way of just being like, can I be honest with you? And just being like, it may not be logical, but I had a feeling about this, and I just needed you to know. Like, I just can't describe it any other way than as just very mature, very authentic, not looking to start shit, but just being like, I just need you to know how I feel. I'm not saying that you did it on purpose. I'm just owning the fact that I'm having a feeling about it. And going back to being curious and interested, Oh, that man just took that word right out of my head. I had another word. Ah, I thought I was picking a quiet spot, but I guess not. But it's important. Like, everyone's feelings, again, are really important because it's a team. If something's affected the other person genuinely wants to know. And as I said about how I feel about you, it's like you're always wanting to improve. And that goes back to even like the sexual chemistry. Like, you know, they aim to please, but they really expect that like you're gonna tell them if like whatever they're doing is not working. And I see that as both of you, but there's just an ease. Yeah, really the only static I see could just be I see a busy lifestyle. The two of you may have very busy careers, families, and we all know what that's like. You got 8 million plates in the air, but it's always met with support. It's always about us versus them. It's never about like me versus you. It's never about winning. Like if there is a disagreement, it's not about winning. It's about solving and understanding. And genuinely to be like, I really want to understand where you're coming from. And even in the ways that you may not agree, like for instance, I'm seeing one, maybe there's a religious or a spiritual, I'm seeing both of you sharing, but there might be just a slight, you know, like maybe one of you is like, well, I don't know if I believe in past lives, or I don't know if I believe, but it's always done respectfully. It's never scoffing, it's never making fun of, and it's never coming from a place of like, I know better. Again, it's just about honesty, to be like, if I'm honest, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I do. Yeah, it's always met with curiosity and respect. I would say that's the biggest word. Both of you deeply, deeply, deeply respect one another, even if it wasn't romantic. There's so much, like that to me is, I would say, the main pillars of this relationship is besides the love, the unconditional love, and it really does feel as unconditional as it can be within a loving dynamic. But I would say like the pillars here are respect. And everything feels very reciprocated and very equal. Yeah, I'm seeing the person that that you adore and that you love. You are very different, but but instead of seeing the differences as divisive, I mean, like, you know, it's really like it charms the pants off of you. Yeah, in the ways that you are different, it's charming. Because I'm also seeing you as being, again, very diplomatic, very fair. Well, both of you are. I think one of you is just a bit more spicy. I'm gonna say it's not you, collective. I think it's the person that you're bringing in. And I don't think they're spicy all the time. I think they just might, as we all do, we have our moments. Kind of going back to like that Italian, you know, there's like a kind of a fussiness that to some people, culturally, they might be like, oh my God, this person sounds like a total maniac. Like, what the fuck? But really, it's like not a faux fussiness, because they are kind of fussy, but it's like, they're not taking it that seriously. It's just like, it feels like a cultural expression. But that being said, like for instance, you two would never swear at each other. You might say like, oh, for fuck, you know, like for fuck's sakes, but like I'm telling you, you would never, ever, ever tell the other person to be like, fuck you, or call each other's names. That would never happen, ever. Ever. And again, I know I talk a lot about pacing. It's because every time I pick up on certain people, yeah, there's this emphasis on like, there's definitely points when you first meet that the passion is huge within both of you. But again, going back to more emperor empress energy, and not to say that you can't just knock boots immediately and ravage each other as an emperor and empress, but there's this like moderating and pacing, because I believe both of you want to get it right. I don't know, there's just this matching of energies, and it's easy, it's effortless. Like, there's not a lot of thought that goes into it. It's just how your energies come together, and you work together. I definitely see you collective as being, here's the thing, you look traditional, and in some ways you are traditional, but in the ways that you look traditional and are traditional, your partner isn't. I think they don't look as traditional as you, and people might be shocked to learn that they're actually very traditional in some ways. I don't know what that means, because that can mean a lot of areas. But again, it just fits perfectly. Yeah, there's just a lot of encouragement, no matter what the other person wants to do. And going back to like reading the room, like, your person can be like, if you were to be having a really bad day, which I don't think is very often for you, like where you're actually like wicked pissed, because again, I think you're the more like real even Steven out of the two, but you love the fact that your person has a lot of flavors of emotion and can be a little bit more dramatic. I'm seeing like spirits using the example of a husky. Huskies, if you know, you know, they are dramatic and hysterical and funny as fuck. And that's how I see you seeing this person, is like when they do get a little bit fussy, you think it's funny. But going back to you actually getting a little bit fussy and upset, I can see this person just being like, okay, like, babe, what do you need right now? Do you need me to be like your best girlfriend? Like, you know, like playing the role of being like, do you need me to be your girl? And just like, do we need to have a spa day? Like, do you want me to paint your toes, get some cucumber slices on the eyes? Like, and do you need to just have a bitch fest? And then I just see them like championing you. So like, if you're like bitching about some shitty, terrible boss or like coworker, or like, you know, this person has your back. Even if maybe you were slightly in the wrong or you're being a little bit dramatic yourself, this person in that moment, they know what you need. You don't need them to be like, babe, you're being a bit of a dick. In that moment, they're just like, they're ride or die with you. We're like, yeah, that person can eat shit. Oh no, they didn't. Yeah, like, they got your back. I also feel as though you feel really safe to express all of your feelings and thoughts to this person. There's something very safe about this person. And again, I don't think you really noticed that that was lacking until you meet this person, and then you're like, oh. Because again, this person's really respectful. And again, the both of you, the two of you don't kiss and tell. And if there's problems, you go to each other first. Although I do see you, collective, as having like a really close confidant, where again, but everything you do is really classy and elegant. So I could see it as you might be more having an insecurity or being unsure about something and really wanting to make sure you check yourself before you wreck yourself before approaching. And I see this as more in like the early days of dating, where you're just like, oh shit, I gotta check in with my girl who's known me, or my guy who's known me for like 20 years. And we do need that, but for the most part, I do see you as too, as like, you don't kiss and tell. If there's problems, you go straight to each other, you handle it, and because you address things in the moment, and because both of you are emotionally mature, going back to the telling, things don't need to come up again, because for one, you've listened to each other. So if someone's been like, hey, when you do this thing, you know, it really upsets me, or it makes me feel a little bit insecure, you know, like, I don't know, whatever. the things that come up, especially in early dating. But again, because there's so much respect and so much like, we are a team. It's not about winning. It's about understanding and solving. And do you know what I mean? Because you know how like sometimes you can be like, maybe you weren't doing something intentionally to make the other person feel insecure. Like maybe it's like a small jealous blip, right? But when the person just points it out, again, lightly, appropriately, again, it's not dramatic, it's just stating facts and just being like, hey, I gotta tell you something. When we were at that party or that dinner and this happened like this, I got a little jelly, or I'm feeling a little bit insecure and I just want to talk it out. Yeah, it just feels so good, guys. I don't know who I'm talking to. Oh, Spirit just, one of you, I think, has a little beauty mark or a little mole on the neck. Yeah. And to be honest, I don't think most marriages last. I'm gonna be real, we know that. We don't need a psychic on YouTube to state that. We have the statistics, but that doesn't mean that we don't still keep trying for it, and that also that it doesn't happen. I see this as a very successful, and I do see this, to be honest, it doesn't have to be a traditional marriage in the church, but I do see for a lot of people it is like a very traditional commitment. And it feels very special to the two of you. It can still be non-traditional and traditional. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can still get married, but also then, yeah, I've been to a lot of queer weddings. And so you can be traditional, non-traditional. I see the two of you as viewing your family that you're going to build and have together as your greatest success. I think you would both individually identify that. Like if someone were to, like, if you were in a confessional booth and someone was like, what's your greatest success? It's not that it's a secret, but like, it's like in your heart of hearts and you're open about it. But like, I don't know. I think sometimes things get overspoken or they're said without meaning. But for the two of you, we genuinely love not only your relationship and your marriage, but like I see a family. And so even if the two of you have some kind of worldly success, career success, you know, in our 20s or 30s, we think the accolades that we're gonna receive and that attention is gonna be from our career. And for some of it, it is. And then for some of us, we aim for that and we realize that the successes can look very different. And so for some, it's just like having this really intact, magnificent, beautiful family that genuinely loves each other and loves spending time together and is connected. And like there's good attachment and no one's lying and cheating. Yeah, and both of you, fiercely loyal. I can tell you right now, I'm gonna say for most of you, neither of you have ever cheated on anyone. Maybe one of you in your early teens and 20s had a couple mishaps, but you definitely learned from it, which is rare. But very loyal, very monogamous. And I feel like both of you are hardline about that. I'm hardline about that. I tell all my partners, once it gets serious, I let them know, so there's no surprises, where I'm like, the one thing that will guarantee, like, there's never a discussion. And especially if I catch you cheating, especially, even if you still come to me and tell me that you've cheated, like, we're done. It's the one thing I will never, ever, ever tolerate. So I can see that energy in the two of you, where it's just like, no, I don't do that. I don't do it, I don't accept it, and if you do it, like, it's goodbye with love. But both of you are just naturally inclined that way anyways, so like, yeah, there's just so much trust. It's so balanced, and both of you are like independent enough that you can do things separately And I think for the most part you do, or have in your life. Very independent, very autonomous. But you guys actually, again, the quality time, your love language, oddly enough. And maybe again, this is new where you're like, oh my God, I didn't know I could actually enjoy someone's company this much. You might both be a little bit introverted. One a little bit less introverted. You're both great with people, but I think one just enjoys working with people a bit more, whereas I feel like your person is a little bit... I'm seeing a wild horse. Yeah, the wild horses have been really coming through. Oh yeah, they did show me that. Okay, so I'm seeing that technically both of you were wild horses, but I think you collective, I think you got scooped up. I think you got scooped up. You were a wild horse, and then you got scooped up, and you were taught all the rules, and so you're this beautiful wild horse that's been domesticated, and then you meet this kind of wild pony that's different than you, but the same as you. And so they remind you of things that you're like, oh, I completely forgot that existed within me. Okay, well, school's letting out. I gotta get home. This is a long message. We didn't even pull any cards. I pulled them out. Okay. Stay blessed. Stay golden.